Mary Millington was a true icon of British popular culture in the 1970s. Born Mary Ruth Quilter in 1945, she overcame a difficult childhood marked by bullying and low self-esteem to become one of the most recognizable and successful adult film stars in the UK. Millington first entered the world of glamour modeling and erotic in the late 1960s after meeting influential photographer John Lindsay. She quickly rose to prominence, appearing in dozens of adult magazines and loops under the stage name Mary Millington. In 1974, she met publisher and filmmaker David Sullivan, who would become her lover and help propel her to new heights of fame and notoriety. Millington starred in several softcore erotic comedies produced by Sullivan, including the record-breaking hit Come Play With Me, which played continuously for over 4 years at the Millington Cinema in London's Soho district. She also appeared in other adult films like Eskimo Nell, Intimate Games, and What's Up, Superdoc. Millington's uninhibited and natural persona made her a hugely popular erotic symbol, with one biographer describing her as the only really uninhibited, natural erotic symbol Britain ever produced. However, Millington's rise to fame was not without its challenges. She faced constant harassment and legal troubles from the police and authorities due to the controversial nature of her work. Millington was also plagued by drug addiction, depression, and insecurity about her looks as she got older. Tragically, these issues led her to take her own life in 1979 at the young age of 33. Despite her untimely demise, Millington's legacy as a pioneering figure in British adult entertainment endures. She has been celebrated as one of the 2 hottest British erotic film stars of the 70s, alongside Fiona Richmond. In recent years, there have even been calls to honor Millington with a commemorative blue plaque, the site of the former Millington Cinema. This comprehensive biography explores the remarkable life and tragic death of this legendary erotic goddess of 1970s Britain. Mary Millington was born Mary Ruth Quilter on July 30th, 1945 in Dorking, Surrey. She was the product of an affair between her single mother Joan Quilter and a married man and was raised in a working-class household. Millington had a difficult childhood, facing bullying and low self-esteem due to her perceived unattractiveness as a young girl. After completing her education, Millington initially trained to become a veterinary nurse. However, a chance encounter with notorious London photographer John Lindsay in the late 1960s would change the trajectory of her life. Under Lindsay's influence, Millington began posing nude for adult magazines and publications, quickly becoming a popular glamour model. Millington's first foray into the adult industry was appearing in hardcore porn loops in the early 1970s, with one of her earliest credits being the film Miss Borlock in 1970. She would go on to appear in around 20 more hardcore loops during this period, before transitioning back to mainstream glamour modeling for magazines like Knave and Men Only. In 1974, Millington's career took an even more dramatic turn when she was introduced to publisher and filmmaker David Sullivan by her co-star Maureen O'Malley. Despite being married at the time, Millington and Sullivan reportedly became lovers, and Sullivan is credited with coming up with Millington's famous stage name. Sullivan wasted no time in capitalizing on Millington's popularity, featuring her prominently in his adult magazines and casting her in his softcore erotic comedies. Her first major film role was in Sullivan's 1977 movie Come Play With Me, which would go on to become the longest-running film in British cinema history, playing continuously for over 4 years at the Millington Cinema in London's Soho district. The success of Come Play With Me cemented Millington's status as a major erotic symbol in 1970s Britain. She went on to appear in several other adult films produced by Sullivan, including Eskimo Nell, 1975, Intimate Games, 1976, and What's Up, Superdoc, 1978. Millington's uninhibited and natural screen presence made her a hugely popular figure, with one biographer describing her as the only really uninhibited natural erotic symbol that Britain ever produced. Millington's fame extended beyond the screen as well. She was known for high-profile publicity stunts, such as posing topless outside 10 Downing Street with a police officer in 1978, She also owned several adult shops and was an outspoken advocate for the legalization of erotic in the UK. However, Millington's rapid rise to stardom was not without its challenges. She faced constant harassment and legal troubles from the police and authorities due to the controversial nature of her work in the adult industry. Millington was repeatedly arrested and charged for obscenity offenses, which she claimed were part of a campaign to kill her. Millington also struggled with drug addiction and depression, which only worsened as she got older and felt insecure about her looks and aging. In a note to her publisher David Sullivan, she wrote, "Police have killed me with their threats. Police have made my life a misery with frame-ups. The tax man has hounded me so much, I will be made bankrupt. He mustn't get anything of his £200,000 demands. He is a religious maniac." Millington's personal life was also in turmoil. She had married Robert Maxted in 1964, but the marriage was reportedly one of convenience rather than love. As her fame and fortune grew, Millington's relationship with Maxted became increasingly strained. Tragically, the combination of legal troubles, drug abuse, depression, and personal issues ultimately proved too much for Millington to bear. On August 19, 1979, at the age of just 33, Millington was found dead in her home, having overdosed on a combination of the antidepressant enafranil, paracetamol, and alcohol. Millington left behind a suicide note, in which she expressed her despair over the police threats and religious maniac taxman that had made her life misery. She was buried alongside her mother in the village of South Holmwood, Surrey, with a grey granite tombstone bearing her married name of Maxted. Despite her untimely demise, Millington's legacy as a pioneering figure in British adult entertainment endures. She has been celebrated as one of the 2 hottest British erotic film stars of the 70s, alongside Fiona Richmond. In recent years, there have even been calls to honor Millington with a commemorative blue plaque at the site of the former Moulin Cinema, where her most famous film, Come Play With Me, played for over 4 years. Millington's life and tragic death have also been the subject of a feature-length documentary called Respectable: The Mary Millington Story, premiered in 2016. Film chronicles her remarkable rise to fame and the personal struggles that ultimately led to her downfall. While Millington's work in the adult industry was undoubtedly controversial, many have praised her courage in standing up to the bigotry and repression of the establishment. Encropa founder David Webb, who knew Millington, wrote after her death, "Mary was a dear, kind person, and we much admired her courage in standing up to the bigotry and repression which still so pervades the establishment of this country. She obviously had tremendous pressures put on her as a result, and there is no doubt in my mind that these must have contributed to this tragedy." In the end, Mary Millington's story is a complex and tragic one. That of a woman who overcame a difficult upbringing to become a hugely successful and iconic figure, only to be ultimately undone by the pressures of fame, addiction, and societal judgment. Her life and legacy continue to fascinate and inspire discussions about the changing attitudes towards erotic and the treatment of women in the entertainment industry. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to our channel. By subscribing, you'll be notified when we upload new videos. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.